started doing a little research, and I discovered that the health benefits for the baby are unbelievable. The health benefits for mom are really good too.
I guess I was one of those people that was so concerned about packing for the baby and getting ready for the baby and giving birth that the after baby care, the newborn care, and breastfeeding were kind of not the highest on my priority list.
I knew that it was something that I really wanted to do for my baby.
I knew that it was something that was meant to be done naturally, but I didn't know much more than that, but I knew it was something that I wanted to do.
What surprised me most about breastfeeding was that it's a dynamic experience, so it's constantly changing, and every phase is different.
I thought that it was just going to be simple. You were just going to put the baby to the breast and away it went, but that's not actually what happened, and it took a lot of work, and it took a lot of trial and error.
I was told that my latch was good and that the baby was nursing well, and after we got home and my milk supply came in, everything changed.
I felt kind of trapped, that I couldn't go anywhere. Not that I was afraid to nurse her while we were out, but just it was so frequent that I couldn't actually get out the door before she needed to nurse again.
Once we got the hang of it and things were going well, I didn't realize how much I would enjoy and look forward to feeding my baby and our time alone together.
The midwife said to both me and my partner, when her milk comes in, she's gonna be really emotional. She should just go in the bedroom and cry, because it's just emotional. It's just a hormonal thing. And if she hadn't told me that, it would have been more of a crisis. And because she told me that, it was fine. I knew that when the milk was coming in, I would be emotional. My husband knew that. And it was cute. He'd say, "Don't worry, honey, it's just your milk coming in, that's all. Don't worry." So I cried it out, and it was fine. It was great.
My son was born prematurely. He was 2 months early, and he was incubated for a week, so I wasn't able to feed at all. So I had to have support in pumping, learning how to express the milk, feeding him through a tube. Then when he was finally able to practice nursing, he was very tiny, so just learning how to latch, different positions, and just the support throughout that struggle for 3 weeks trying to get it going.
I did have my mom's support and encouragement, so that meant a lot to me.
She was in the neonatal intensive care unit for a while, and they really encouraged me to pump and provide her with the breast milk.
The help that I got with the breastfeeding was definitely through my husband. He was very supportive and understanding about that. So he was often there coaching me and supporting me, even though it was painful at first and it was difficult and tiring, but he kept on, supporting me and telling me that I was doing a great job and stuff like that.
When I was having problems with mastitis, I just remembered the name Leche League, and I went online. I discovered they have an international and then also a Canadian contingency, and I was just really happy that there was an organization out there that's just to help and support women in breastfeeding.
I found out about Leche League Canada through the web. I did a Google search about breastfeeding and started reading up on it, contacted someone at Leche League, and someone called me back within a day.
My doula, she's a Leche leader, and that was the help I got. She was the only support system I had.
I found out about the Leche League through my mother, who was a Leche League leader, but I didn't connect with my own group until I was pregnant with my first.
I found out in my prenatal class. The person who was teaching it was actually also a Leche League leader, and she encouraged us to come out to a meeting before our babies were born, and it's probably the best thing that I ever did, because I think it gave me a much more realistic outlook on what to expect, and I also felt like I've kind of had all my supports in line. I had my phone numbers ready if I needed to get help.
While I was at home with the baby for the first 4 months, I got in a really good flow with breastfeeding. But when I was going back to work, I was a little bit nervous, so I called Leche League, and they put me in touch with an accredited leader who was also a breastfeeding mom, and she gave me a lot of tips and advice on how I could go back to work and still continue breastfeeding.
Too much milk to too little milk to tongue ties, and really the Leche League leaders have helped me through all of those bumps and hurdles along the way. So I'm really not sure what I would do without them.
Because of the support I got from my Leche group, I learned how to be able to manage the biting so that we can continue breastfeeding and not have it negatively affect our relationship.
Some of the specific challenges I had, and I feel like they're behind me, but who knows, were sore nipples, cracked nipples, and a good latch.
Babies that cried a lot, both of them. While they were calm children mostly, I remember that they screamed every night from 6 o'clock to 8 o'clock. And I remember going, is this what babies do and how do you fix them?
I was producing too much milk, and she would, you know, I would let down and she would pop off the breast and be choking and coughing, and it was very unpleasant for both of us, and there was generally a lot of milk everywhere.
If you're expecting a baby and you're planning on breastfeeding, just know that it will probably end up being one of the most wonderful experiences of your whole life.
When you finish giving birth, to consider yourself as a priority as well, and that you need to take care of yourself so that you can take care of your baby too as well.
Kindly listen to what other people have to say and take really what works best for you and your family, and decide what you need to do as yourself to feel comfortable, and kind of ignore the rest.
If I had to do it again, I would ask for help immediately, because that would have solved all of my problems from the get-go, and we wouldn't have struggled through it for so long.
Find your support system before you give birth, and also to trust yourself.
Contact your local Leche League, become involved, stick with it, even though sometimes it can be really hard and challenging. But it's the best thing you can do for your baby.
Because breastfeeding is a dynamic process and it keeps changing at every age and stage, it's really good to know that La Leche League is there, so that when I think I've got a handle on things and suddenly a new challenge comes up, I have a place to go for some support and help. And maybe my friends or my mom or my sisters didn't go through the exact same things, but someone at La Leche League did. So I'm really glad they're there.
La Leche League to me means support and friendship. Some of my best friends and my children's best friends are people that we've met through, through league meetings over the years.
The Leche League means a group of wonderful, wonderful people.
It's for me a very comfortable place to be, and a place where I feel at home.
We see our babies grow together, and we all have the same challenges, and it's a comfortable environment for us to ask questions and get help whenever we need it.
It's a place I can go to for reliable and accurate information, and it's a place where I can grow as a confident mother.
La Leche League Canada. Because breastfeeding isn't always easy, we're here to help. Visit us online at llc.ca or call 1-800-665-4324.